Our next presenter is Mr. Ethan Cherry.
Hello, my name is Ethan Cherry, and I will be presenting an excerpt from the speech, The Power of Imagination, by Gary and Bunn. A famous author once wrote that the only thing that hinders our imagination is what we know. Albert Einstein said that imagination is greater than knowledge. And I wonder, at what point in our lives do we lose the fervor of our imagination? As children, we played cops and robbers with our fingers as guns, and we used simple cups as telephones. And again, I wonder, at what point do we lose the fervor of our imagination? And I submit to you, it's only when we start to see our problems as more than just problems that we'll get the victory. I've learned something through this journey, and it's that what's in front of me and what's behind me is definitely not as great as what's inside of me. And I believe it's true for all of you. Say it with me. What's in front of me and what's behind me is not as great as what's inside of me. What's in front of me and what's behind me is not as great as what's inside of me. And if only we could get back to the place where we start to see our fingers as more than just fingers, or we can see a cup as more than just a cup that's half empty or half full, we can go, we can be anything we want to be on life's journey. There were once two young boys, born into the same household. One, an extreme optimist, and the other, an extreme pessimist. The parents struggled with what to do with these boys because they, like many of you, like many of others, who have more than one child, wonder, how in the world did we have children at totally different ends of the spectrum? They decided they would try an experiment. In the pessimist room, they filled it with toys. And the next morning, they woke to crying. They rushed to his room to figure out what was going on. And he's sitting there in the middle of his room on the floor, crying. They said, "Son, what's wrong? You have a room full of new toys." He said, "I know I'm going to break something." From the optimist room, they heard yelling, "Woo-hoo!" They rushed to his room, and I hate to tell you what they had done to the optimist. They had filled his room with manure. When they got to his room to figure out what was going on, they said, "Son, what are you doing?" He said, "I know, with all this manure, there's got to be a horse somewhere. There has to be." I would like to challenge all of you to remember three things. One, it's only through your imagination that you can reach your full potential. Two, what's in front of you and what's behind you is definitely not as great as what's inside of you. And on your journey to find whatever it is that you're trying to find on life's journey, remember this. There's always got to be a horse out there somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cherry.